Rugby players to take a pay cut during the COVID-19 pandemic. That seems to be some of the news that's been out in recent days. There seems to be a bit of a mixed bag in terms of whether players are getting their pay cut, how much the pay cuts are going to be, what say they've had into, the prospects of having their salaries cut. I think I did read, there's going to be some job losses with some clubs, particularly in like admin staff, but playing staff will be the ones and coaching staff will be the ones potentially taking, it seems to be around about 20-25% of their salary to be cut across the board, seems to be like the average number, but your mileage may vary on that one. A couple of confirmed ones, at least that I've seen, is Ian Foster, the All Blacks head coach. He's agreed to take a pay cut. They didn't mention the figures, but his coaching staff, he mentioned, will also be taking a pay cut. I think 3 months seems to be the general period that it's going to be for. They said also in that story that the salaries of players contracted by New Zealand Rugby, which is most of the big name players over here, likely to follow. Whether or not they do that in terms of like a scaling system, in terms of top players would get their pay cut by more, or if you're one of the low earners you don't get your pay cut, I'm not sure, or whether it's just an across the board everybody gets their pay cut by 20%. That seems to be one of the main things that's happening here in New Zealand anyway, to help out some of the Super Rugby clubs and New Zealand Rugby, who at the moment are forecasting to lose quite a lot of money in terms of, they're not unique to them by any means, but they had Jack Goodhue, the All Black Canterbury Crusaders player. He was on the news here as well, basically saying, yep, cut my pay, that's cool. He would rather, firstly, he's happy to have a job because he knows some people will be losing their jobs. And he also said, he's happy to take the hit for the here and now if that means the game going forward, is able to bounce back a bit better and keep everything in as good shape as we can, as so many countries are under lockdown. The Premiership, it seems to be 25% that the number's being bandied about. Clubs that I've seen mentioned so far were Bristol Wasps, Gloucester, Worcester, Leicester and Saracens. Bath has been in the news a wee bit as well in terms of players being asked to sacrifice 25% of their wages for now. I actually saw, it's not confirmed in that story that I just read, but there was one of Rugby Pass's videos had Adam Hastings taking on, it was, I think it was Slade from Exeter, Henry Slade, and Hastings asked him if he'd taken a play, because they were playing FIFA. What do you do when you're locked down, right? If they'd taken a pay cut, and Henry Slade basically said yep, and Adam Hastings said he hadn't yet. He's obviously in the Pro 14, but he said that the Welsh boys had, and that it would be likely that the Scottish boys would be getting their pay cut next as well. Australia seems to be, I don't know how much of it's just kind of media doing their thing, but there seems to be a bit of a loggerhead situation between Raelene Castle, who's the head of Aussie Rugby, and the Players Union. Apparently the first story was the Players Union are upset that they're not being consulted about potential pay cuts to players with Super Rugby suspended. But Raelene Castle's hit back and said, no, this is nonsense. She herself is going to cut her own salary for 3 months by 50%, and that they're going to meet with the Players Union Tuesday, which is tomorrow as I record this video, to see what kind of deal they can hash out. But yeah, it seems to be one of those ones where everyone has got to suffer a wee bit. I know everyone's kind of got it a bit differently. As Jack Goodhue said, some people have legit lost their jobs, which is kind of, apart from getting sick yourself, it's kind of worst case scenario. And for me, I'm working from home, so I'm fortunate in that I have a job which I can do from home, but unfortunate that I've got no daycare to send my kids to, so they are running around the house as I'm trying to do some work, which makes life a wee bit interesting, hence why I'm recording this video at almost 9 o'clock. rather than in the afternoon because the kids have had to go to bed. But yeah, I guess it's one that we'll watch with interest. I guess we would probably all echo Jack Goodhue's sentiments in that if the players and other associated staff can take a bit of a hit now, even though as bad as that seems for them personally, if that can help teams, clubs, franchises or whatever survive going forward, that's probably going to be the best outcome for all. But yeah, in the scheme of things, rugby still seems, I guess, like a small issue at the minute, and everyone getting food, staying healthy, hospitals being overwhelmed and whatnot is obviously the bigger story. But still, it's one we watch, and hopefully all the teams do make it through, be it by cutting salaries or getting government's assistance or however they want to do it. The MLR guys are still going in terms of competition, but they're playing Rugby 20. So at least there's some guys remaining active. I think those guys are actually still getting paid, the MLR guys, so that's a pretty good result for them. I don't think they've been laying off associated staff, which is also good news. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts. What do you reckon about this? Do you think the players should be taking cuts? Do you think that's a bit much to ask? Because I don't know what these guys are like with their financial management. It may be that they, like some of us, kind of live week to week, and may not necessarily have the funds to maintain the lifestyle that they'd set up based on expected earnings. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts. Hope you're all well. Hope if you are working that you're doing it safely. If you can do it from home, Goodhue. Hopefully you don't have two kids running around after you as you work. If you're not working, I hope wherever you are, government or somebody's able to kind of sort you out at least to some degree, rely on family support and whatnot, because yeah, trying times for everybody. But yep, cheers guys, stay safe as always, wash your hands, don't touch your face, all that jazz, and yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.